a blessing to welcome on one of the quickest rising guys in class of 2023. Now five-star recruit, top 15 player, Kris Parker. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Well, take us through this. It's been kind of a wild week right now. We know you're wrapping up your high school season, now transitioning to AAU. Your offers are starting to come in. Also, now you're ranked as a top five-star player. Kind of take us through all the emotions and how it feels right now.
It's a blessing. It's a dream come true. Every kid want to be, at the top of all the rankings and stuff. So it's honestly just a blessing.
Take us to that day. You come out, 247 releases the new rankings, and you see yourself up there. What was your thoughts, and were you expecting that?
I honestly I didn't see it at first. A whole bunch of people kept sending it to me, so I was just overwhelmed. It felt like a dream.
Now, we do know obviously it's not the biggest goal. The biggest goal is going to college and all that, but you now know that you're going to have a target on your back. When you get back out there for AAU, people know who you are. People know that you're one of the top guys in the country. How you kind of plan to adjust to that and kind of handle a lot more people keying in on you and people being aware of who you are?
I think this season prepared me. At the beginning of the season, I got off from Florida, so a
Hmm.
lot of people have been trying to come at me, but I think I'm prepared.
And how have you adjusted that? Obviously, you had a great sophomore campaign. What was it like just kind of knowing that people were targeting you kind of and really knew who you were?
It was just like a wake up call.
Hmm.
It made me stay on my A game and stay 10 toes. So it was a quick adjustment to make.
Without a doubt. Well, let's get into some of those offers because right now you're sitting with quite a few offers on the table. Obviously, the biggest one is Florida at this point in time, but kind of just the recruiting process. Who's talking to you the most? Who have you kind of heard from or you kind of seen the most interest from?
My coaches have been talking to people. I haven't talked to anyone. Well, I can't talk to anyone
Mhm.
personally yet, but they told me they're talking to a couple of schools: Missouri, Florida State, and I think two more schools, but I'm not sure.
Now, you are a couple months out until you can start talking to them and really heavily get in this recruiting process. How excited are you for that?
I'm very excited. Everybody want to go to college and go to the league, so this is step one.
Hopefully, by this point, you guys are going to be able to go through the entire recruiting process back to normal where you guys have business open and you guys can get back to the normal process. What's that going to be like? Just be able to go on business, get to meet coaches in person, and go through that process.
I'm very excited. I want to post some pictures and some college jerseys on visits and stuff, so I'm really excited for that to come.
Let's get into some of these schools. Like you said, you haven't really talked to any of them, but just from what you know about them, you've seen of them. Let's start with Florida, the first one, obviously the biggest one. What do you like about Florida?
I like Florida. I like the style of play they play, and being from Florida, Trey
Mhm.
Mann when he left, committed to Florida. Everybody, was kind of controversial about it, but I always thought it was a good move. So I want to, got a lot of interest in Florida.
And that's one of the big things. You could stay home, kind of staying close to family. You can have the hometown support, be that hometown hero. What would that be like?
It would be big. A lot of kids, either you're a Florida State or you're a Florida fan. And
Mhm.
some people, you're a Florida fan in Tallahassee, you're an outcast. So, being a Florida fan, it would be big, all the kids were, idolizing and stuff.
And all offers are obviously amazing, but Florida, like I said, is obviously a big school, hometown team. It's the big school in your state. What was that just like though when you found out that they offered you? Take us to that day and how it all went down.
I was coming out of practice and
Mhm.
actually I had just came from the Source Hoops camp in Orlando and Source Hoops posted it. And I was overwhelmed. I called my mom, she was screaming about it, and all my sisters were as well. So it was really cool.
You haven't quite been able to build that personal relationship with Coach Y or the coaching staff yet, but out of the coaching game plan, the way they kind of use the players, the way you watch them, just the way he coaches the game, what do you like about that?
I like how fast they play at an up tempo game, and I like the way that he always has a steady point guard that controls the game and a scoring option and a scoring card. So I like the way he coaches.
And for you, that's obviously a huge thing because you are a big guard. You're 6'7" now. You can run point guard, shooting guard. Obviously, if the team wants to run small ball, run you at the small forward, whatever, that works too. But kind of take us through your game because people are just starting to learn about you. We'll see more of you on the AU level with more media. But what can people expect from you? What will you bring to the court?
I think before anything, I'm gonna make the right play with it being scoring or facilitating. I think I have a high basketball IQ, so obviously scoring is my go-to being my stature, my body frame. But yeah, I think I'm a high IQ player.
That is a tough thing to balance, and you did pretty well this year. Obviously, 2010, 5.5. But kind of take us through how you've learned to balance those two aspects to your game.
This year, we're 1A, so teams that were doubling, tripling all year. So
Mhm.
when I couldn't score, I would, get an defensive rebound and just push because it's hard to double and triple in the transition. So I either, dish it, get an assist, or just score myself.
Watching some film on you, one of your best moves is your pull up. Also, you have a step back. You have a lot of the moves, but that you coming off the dribble, you're able to set yourself up, get open, create space. Take us through that, how you worked on that aspect of your game and really how you almost nearly perfected that move.
Um, People have been telling me while I was growing that when I raise up, I elevate a lot, and it's really hard to contest and block my shot. So, you know, um, my dad being my coach, he helped me work on it so that when I raise up, you can almost count it every time.
Being that big guard we talked about is an advantage. Obviously, you have a height advantage when majority of the guys you're going to go up against. But how have you learned to incorporate that into your game and be able to use your height advantage on all aspects of the game?
I've been working on the mid post, low post game for
Mhm.
when I play guards, and then for when I step out on big men, you know, I can just go past them or, you know, create out the dribble.
There are a lot more guys in the NBA and college you can kind of look up to and watch because it's becoming more and more common that there are big guards. But who are the guys you like watching? Are there college guys, NBA guys that you kind of model your game after or even take pieces from?
I like to watch KD obviously,
Mhm.
and I watch a lot of Kawhi Leonard actually, the way he works in the mid post, and I watch Kyrie Irving a little bit too.
You still have a ton of development. You clearly have a high ceiling right now because you're still thin. You can still add a lot of muscle, still have a lot more years to develop. But when you start seeing that final product in 5, 6 years or so, when you're at college or even past that, what can we expect from you? Like, how special can you become?
I think the sky's the limit for me, and I have a good chance of going to the league. I feel like I have a good chance of going to the league. So I feel like all I have to do is develop and keep working, and it'll come.
I know a lot of people like making comparisons for themselves, but how about you personally though? When you look at your game, who is the player you compare yourself to?
Um, I would say either Tracy McGrady,
Hmm.
but others say Kevin Durant, but I say Tracy McGrady.
Absolutely. Let's get into some of those other colleges you have so far. The first one came in almost about 6, 7, 8 months ago or so. Samford. Take us to that day and just what it was like learning that you got your very first Division 1 offer.
I think we just played in the game in the tournament, and that morning the Sanford coach called my high school coach and offered me. So, it was really big. And in Tallahassee, everybody knew I was good, but
Mhm.
to get to college attention is a whole nother ball game.
And that is a crazy thing because, like you said, when you're especially when you're in an area like Florida, people know basketball. It's a heavy basketball place, football too, but you obviously kind of rise above. You get that first Division 1 offer. How did that kind of change your mindset? Did it make you more confident? Like, what went through your mind when you knew that, okay, I have an offer now. I'm officially on the college radars. Like, what went through your mind when that happened?
It was kind of relaxing because a lot of people around me were getting offers, but I was wondering, am I good enough? Am I, do they see me and stuff like that? But when I got that one, it was relaxing. It was like you said, I got on college radar, so
Mhm.
it was relaxing.
Now, it wasn't some story where obviously where you're not till like your senior year you start blowing up, but you still were pretty much unknown for all your freshman year and heading up into obviously the start of your sophomore campaign. How'd you kind of deal with that though? Like, what was going through your mind as you knew that okay, like you just said, other guys are getting offers, there might be some guys being ranked, all this stuff happening. Like, what was your mindset until you really did blow up?
It was really a motivation to keep working and get on somebody's radar, whoever it may be. Wherever I go, just keep working. I was in the gym day in and day out, and I still am. So it was just a motivation.
Another offer you have right now is from Detroit. They're a mid-major school, and we know they have produced a lot of talent. They're always a relevantly pretty decent team. Take us to what you like about Detroit.
Um, I like the coaching. The coach, I didn't talk to him personally, but I heard him on the phone with one of my coaches, and he made it known that you know they care and they want to help me develop and get to the next level.
Two things I want to touch up on that. One of obviously it's not a high major school. It's not like in an SEC, ACC kind of environment, but it is a mid-major and guys can still make it out of there, obviously. Is that something that's okay with you? Would you prefer going to a high major? Would going to mid-major be okay with you? Like, what's your thoughts on different levels of basketball in college?
I just want to go wherever fits and wherever will help me develop the best and get to where I want to be, which is at a pro level, getting ready for the pros.
Another part to that is it's not really close to home. We talked about the advantage of staying close to home at Florida. Going to Detroit, obviously the weather's a lot different and it's pretty far from home. Is that okay with you, or do you not really mind where the location is?
I don't really mind, but again, I'm a Florida boy. I never even seen snow before, so it would be a big adjustment.
Now, there's going to be a lot more offers that come in now over the next couple of years. But out of what you're hearing from either coaches or whatnot, who are some of the schools that have shown interest in you?
Like I said, Florida State, they showing a lot of interest, but that's about it that I know personally. My coaches are in contact constantly, but that's the only one I know personally.
And Florida State is known for getting the bigger guys, the big guards, the even super tall centers. And we see Coach Hamilton really is doing a great job with all those guys like Scotty Barnes this year. How appealing is that to you when you see a coach be able to take a guy that's almost like you, a big guard, and make him an NBA prospect, make him into a top 10, top 5 pick? How much more appealing does that make a program to you?
It makes it very appealing because it's like they know what they're doing and they know how to consistently do it. So,
Mhm.
it's very appealing and it raises a lot of eyebrows and stuff.
Either one of those teams would be playing in the big conferences, and we're gonna kind of get into AU real quick, and that's where we're gonna see a lot of guys you could possibly team up with. You're playing a couple of different guys, especially on your AU team, but are there any guys that you have discussed to possibly team up with at the college level yet?
Oh, not yet. I haven't thought about it yet, but going to college with somebody that I know, it will be very confident knowing that I will be, either in the dorm or on the court with somebody that I knew for past years.
So far in your playing career, have there been any guys that you've had played with, whether it be at a camp, AU, high school, where you think you guys play really well together, you could possibly even see yourself team up, or just you'd enjoy playing with?
I would enjoy playing with I say Ant Robinson. I don't know if you know him.
Mhm.
He go to Florida High. He a good steady guard and he knows how to just swing the ball and get it moving, get his teammates involved. So I'd probably say Ant.
You haven't got experience too much in the college life yet, but when you talk about what you want at college, when it does come time in about a year or two to make your decision, what would it take for college to land you? Like, what are you looking for in the coach, the program? What do you want in a college that's going to ultimately help land you eventually down the road?
I would say a family environment and somewhere that they want to help me work on myself and develop, and a coach that's just more than a coach, really, off the court and on, just there for his players and my teammates there for each other. That's all.
In terms of a coach, what kinds of personality you want? I know some guys like them where they're more a player's coach, they're friendly, either a guy that's played in the NBA, even or college, high level college ball. Some like them that are more older and wise and strict. Energy, like what's kind of the dream coach? What would he look like personality wise?
I would say a strict coach. I would say a high energy coach that, he's just into the game as his players is, and he will go to war just like his players will.
Without a doubt. Well, let's get into this season now. You're wrapping it up now. You're in the off season for a little bit. Finished up with the big time season. I said 2010, 5.5, one steal, one block per game. Take us through this year. Like, what's your thoughts on it? How do you think you played and how you did this year?
I think I did good this year. We got down to the state and we unfortunately lost first round, but just going down there I feel like it brought it gave my teammates a lot of confidence, and I know for a fact we'll be back next year and we'll win.
You guys are a pretty young team. Obviously, with you leading them only as a sophomore, there's a lot of great players throughout Florida, and they could have matched up against. But what's the expectations now? You go into your upperclassman years as a junior. What do you think you guys can achieve as a team, and also you personally next year?
I honestly feel like we can go undefeated, and I feel like you said, we have a young team. So at my senior year, I feel like we can win it, and we should win it next year. So we'll win it back to back.
There was one highlight I know I've read about you. You had a regional finals game. You just come back to win. You guys were down in the beginning. You ended up winning by 13 that game. So kind of take us through that and what that comeback was like.
Um, we came out a little slow, and they was a good team alone. They came out fast, but it just came down to who wanted it more. And I feel like we outplayed them in the end and got a W.
You are attending Crossroad Academy. That's been there since your freshman and now sophomore year. But why did you decide to go there?
Um, Tallahassee, I feel like it was a lot of distractions. And going to Crossroad outside, about 20 minutes outside the city, it was just a good environment. And it's a small school, so everybody's really close. And it's not really any trouble there. So I feel like it'd be good for me and good for my career.
The jump you made from freshman to sophomore year is obvious. It's a huge jump in every stat category. But you obviously had about 6, 7, 8 months during quarantine to work out and grind your craft. What were the things you really focused in on? Like, what were you working on during the quarantine period that you were able to produce then on the court?
I worked on being able to go to both sides of the floor. People can, making a left hand layup isn't going left. So I just worked on really being able to be diverse on basketball courts and score in any way. So
A guy of your caliber, I can already imagine a lot of the big prep schools will start reaching out to you. Is that something you ever will consider? Will you possibly look at going to a national schedule team or playing at that kind of level?
yeah, I have considered it, but honestly, if Crossroad, if we can get a national schedule, so I feel like it'll be the same thing.
Without a doubt. Well, the next time we'll see you back on the court will be AU, and you announced recently that you're going to be playing with Team Breakdown in the UAA, and that's going to be a special team. I mentioned a couple of guys you'd be with, the Bewley twins, obviously 2 other top 20 guys. How special can you guys be this year, though?
I feel like we're one of the best teams in the nation, and we haven't even played in the game yet. So, we got all these high major guys, and I feel like we're a good group.
Can I walk us through this roster? I mentioned the Bewley twins, obviously you. Who else do you kind of know is going to be on this roster?
Jayden, I think he's ranked about number 58 in the on 247 rankings. He's a high major guy too. He blocks everything. He's a rim protector, and he can run the floor. So I feel like he's one to look out for.
When we see you 4 on the court together, that's like you said, 4 high major guys, 3 guys top 20. If not, people can argue saying you guys are all higher than that. How special can you 4 be together?
Very special. I feel like we'll win a lot of games, and we're gonna take us over that hump.
Absolutely. Well, the couple things I want to touch up on before I let you go, one of which is something in your bio. You have 0595. Take us through what that means and why you have that in your bio.
Oh, that's the street I live on. That's the where I stay. It's Fullerton Road, 959.
And there's another thing you had an interview a little bit ago with Zag's blog. You talked about, you said a quote, I play basketball, but I don't let basketball play me. Take us through what that means.
I feel like it's important to, basketball, it can get tough sometimes. Either your jumpers off or anything like that. It's important to get away from the game sometimes, either that's playing video games or whatever it is. It's just important to get away from the game sometimes.
And that is an important thing because you obviously have the aspirations of playing this for many, many years down the road through high school, college, pro. How have you learned to kind of balance life, though? Obviously, you have schoolwork, but just also kind of having free time and space. How have you learned to balance all the aspects of your life?
I'll set a schedule, what I need to do. And I tell my friends all the time, I say it jokingly, but I tell them you got to win the day. You got to always win the day. So I just set a schedule and go step by step and complete things.
So what does a typical day look like? Obviously, it switches between when you're in school or not, but right now, if you're in the off season, no school, it's basketball, like what does a typical day in your life look like?
I'll probably wake up about 7 and go run some hills, and then probably work out at about 10 or some days 9. And then for the rest of the day, it's just to myself, play video games or go hang with my friends, or probably sometimes at about 5, I go play some pickup.
Obviously, it's a mentality becoming an elite player you have to have. But when would you say kind of set in for yourself? When did you really start setting aside and saying, okay, basketball is really my dream. This is what I want to pursue, and I'm going to work to make sure I get there?
I say when I got to high school, coming out of middle school, I had a lot of hype, but I saw that in high school, you had to take it to another level. So, I just got dedicated to the work, and it's been it's been good ever since.
How about when would you say it kind of clicked for you that you realized I'm going to be an elite player? I am an elite player now. When would you say that kind of clicked for you?
I'll say the camp this summer, the Source Hoops camp. I was down there, and at first I was doing all right, but I just took it to a whole nother. I just felt like nobody could stop me, so I just did what I had to do and picked up what I had to pick up.
And being in Florida, that's a place that is known as one of the better basketball states in the entire country. Obviously, it's top to bottom loaded every single class. What's it like competing out there? What's it like just being a part of Florida basketball?
It's really cool actually, because Florida, I say we have a lot of athletes, so it'll take your game to a whole nother level. Playing against those type of guys and being around them every day.
There's one aspect of Florida, a couple of the states have it too, but we know that's a heavy football state as well, and a lot of football guys do play basketball too. What's it like going up against some of those guys?
It's really competitive. They always have a high motor, but they always strong too. So it'll teach you to take different types of bumps and what moves work and stuff like that.
If we look at specifically 2023 class in Florida, who would make a roster if you're putting together a 6, 7, 8 man roster? Who's the top guys in Florida from 2023?
I'll say Ant Robertson, me, both the twins, my other teammate Jayden, and I say Israel Yant. That goes to Gabby.
Absolutely, man. Well, one thing I was like wrapping up all the interviews with is discussing a legacy, and I think that's something that all guys want to eventually do. They want to be able to remember for something. So when you step away from the game someday, what do you ultimately want to be remembered for what you achieve both on and off the court?
I want to be remembered as a winner. Nothing less than a winner. I always, when people think of me, whatever the argument may be, regardless of stats, one thing they have to say is that I'm a winner.
Without a doubt, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today, and I'm excited to see what guy got next for you, man.
Appreciate it.
Of course, well, welcome on, man. God bless.
God bless you too.